and girls, Uncle Herman has a very special story for you today. It's kind of a detective story. It's called The Tale of Secret Agent Orange. Do you know what a secret agent is? No? Well, a secret agent is a kind of spy. Someone who works for the government of one country in order to get information from that country so that it can hurt that country. In today's story, Agent Orange is working for Russia. Can you guess which country he wants to hurt? No? Well, after you've heard today's story, maybe you'll be able to guess what the answer is. The storybook for today is this one. Its name is DSM-5. Actually, that is just its nickname. The storybook's real name is Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 5th edition. That's a long name for a storybook, isn't it? You can see why we use its nickname, DSM-5, instead. Actually, this storybook is very special. This storybook is written by the American Psychiatric Association. That's actually a bunch of psychiatrists. Do you know, can anyone tell Uncle Herman what a psychiatrist is? No? Oh yes, that's right. It's a kind of doctor. Okay. Now, do you know what kind of doctor? What kind of sicknesses they try to cure? No? Well, psychiatrists try to cure people whose minds are sick. This book contains stories about all kinds of crazy people. In fact, it has one story for every kind of insanity known. Isn't that wonderful? What fun to read. You do like to read, don't you? I'm sure you do. Okay, today's story is story number 301.81. Although it contains the story of Secret Agent Orange, its actual title is Narcissistic Personality Disorder. Now, you can see why I prefer to call it The Tale of Secret Agent Orange. The story begins with 9 clues in trying to guess just who exactly Agent Orange is. The clues are called Diagnostic Criteria. Let's read about these clues in our DSM-5 storybook. Let's try to guess who the story of Agent Orange is all about. It tells us that Agent Orange's mind his mind is sick in a very special way. See if you can read along with me about what narcissistic personality disorder means. A pervasive pattern of grandiosity in fantasy or behavior, need for admiration, and lack of empathy, beginning by early adulthood and present in a variety of contexts. Were you able to pronounce all those big words? Could you pronounce them better than I did? Do you know what empathy means? Do you understand what it means if Agent Orange lacks empathy? Okay, it means he can't understand and share the feelings of other people. All he can think about are his own feelings. Have you ever known anyone like that? Okay, so here are your 9 clues. Are you ready, boys and girls? Clue number 1. Has a grandiose sense of self-importance. For example, exaggerates achievements and talents, expects to be recognized as superior without commensurate achievements. Now that clue may be hard for you to understand. So let Uncle Herman help you out here. Have you ever known anyone who bragged about how smart he was, how he got an A on a test, but you know he never even answered a single question on that test? And then he wanted you to praise him for being so smart? Well, okay, are you ready for clue number 2? 2 is preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideas, and or ideal love. This clue tells you that Agent Orange thinks that he has always succeeded in all of his deals. In fact, he's even an expert on the art of the deal. He tells you that he's so brilliant, even a foreign dictator has admitted it. And he claims that even his hands are beautiful, and they're big, not small. His hands are big and beautiful. He tells us, in fact he brags, that he uses his hands to touch pretty girls in naughty places whenever he wants to. He's very naughty. Ready for clue number 3? Clue number 3 believes that he or she is special and unique and can only be understood by or should associate with other special or high status people or institutions. That means that Agent Orange is conceited, and he won't play with boys and girls like you. It means he thinks he should only play with billionaires and kings and beauty queens and dictators of big countries. Here's clue number 4. Requires excessive admiration. Now, that one's easy. That means that Agent Orange is kind of like God. He wants you to praise him and flatter him all day long, no matter what he does. He wants you to say that that's the best thing you've ever seen. He expects you to say that you wish you could be so wonderful and strong as he is. Clue number 5 is harder to understand. Has a sense of entitlement, that is, unreasonable expectations of especially favorable treatment or automatic compliance with his or her expectations. He wants you to give him your PlayStation because he's very important and he needs it more than you do. He deserves your tricycle more than you do because he's so important. He wants you to pretend that you are happy to give it to someone as important as he is. Your 6th clue is this one. Is interpersonally exploitative. That is, takes advantage of others to achieve his or her own ends. Secret Agent Orange is like the kid who expects you to miss your own birthday party to help him paint his father's fence. Then, when he gets paid for painting the fence, he doesn't pay you anything. Not only that, he doesn't even say thank you. And he expects you to have considered it a great honor to have helped him. Well, so, okay, boys and girls, here's your 7th clue. Lacks empathy, is unwilling to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of others. This is an important clue to figure out who Agent Orange is. He's someone who makes fun of someone who's handicapped. He brags about his own good health. And he asks you to believe that he's all that healthy without any proof. And then he turns around and he's cruel when someone is sick for a day. Everything he does is so that he can make more money. And even when it causes misery for other people and makes them lose money for food, the money that they need for food or medicine. Here's the 8th of your 9 clues. Is often envious of others or believes that others are envious of him or her. This clue tells us that Agent Orange is jealous of other people who appear to be as successful as he claims he is or wishes to be. Not only does he accuse others of being jealous of him, when, in fact, it is he who is jealous of them, he accuses others of doing all the bad things that he is actually doing. He mocks them, and he makes fun of people he thinks are rivals, and says that what they have done, what they have achieved, is nothing really compared to what he has done. Every time he brags about himself, he insults others and puts them down. He thinks everybody wants to be as great as he is, and they are jealous of his successes, even when he hasn't been successful. All right, now for your last clue. Shows arrogant, haughty behaviors or attitudes. Your last clue for figuring out who Agent Orange is tells you that he is uppity. He thinks he's the most important person in the world. He can't have anything to do with ordinary people. He's rude to everyone he thinks isn't as important as he is, unless he needs to get something from them. Then he's very nice and charming. Have you ever known anybody like that? Okay, so now you have all the clues you need so you can figure out just who the story in this book is all about. Now, what Uncle Herman wants you to do when you get home tonight is to ask Mommy and Daddy to turn on the television set to the news at supper time. Ask them to turn into Fox News, and because Agent Orange almost surely will appear on that show. Watch for someone who behaves the way the clues I have given you say he'll behave. And then, when you think you've figured out who he is, look for one more thing. Does he have orange skin? Oh yeah, and one more thing. Are his hands big? And are they orange like his face? All right, boys and girls. Let's see how many of you can figure out who the tale of Secret Agent Orange is all about. And then when you come back tomorrow for the end of this story, there are several more pages in the storybook about Agent Orange. When you come back for the rest of the story, every one of you who has figured out this puzzle, who it's about, will get a lollipop and an Agent Orange secret decoder ring and a Twitter account. Goodbye for now, boys and girls.